All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and today we are gonna uh, start learning, continue learning, because we have explored this crate in the past before. Start. We're gonna start learning about the clap crate in Rust. Clap is uh, I think the full form. Okay, I was about to say that. Yeah, clap is a crate that you can use for argument parsing. Basically, if you're creating command line applications, or I believe even TUI, yeah, even you can use it for TUI applications as well, because like even the TUI applications get launched via the command line. So if you have command line applications, and you have set them up to accept arguments from the user, be it fixed flags or user generated data, you can use the clap crate to accept those arguments in a much more structured way. And clap also provides you with extra stuff like input validation, for example. So you don't have to work on the entire logic of parsing the parsing the arguments that are being passed in. All you have to do is set up certain structs and whatever else they ask us to do. All you have to do is set up some stuff within your code, and then the clap crate handles everything else for you. So, um, yesterday we were looking into, well, the into crate, and pretty much, well, no, hold on. We yesterday we were looking into the we were exploring that whole blanket implementations concept, and we were trying to get a better understanding of that. And today, well, okay, also, I was trying to get a better understanding of it because we had gotten there from the string validator trait, because in the inquire crate, when you use something like text.new dot with validator, you get to pass in a closure. The thing is, the function signature, um, the with validator function signature, it's a generic function that takes in a closure, but the trait bound that's given for that specific generic argument is that it has to be of type string validator. And I noticed that in the example, we were able to pass in a closure. So I was kind of confused about what exactly is going on there. How is this closure that I've clearly just made, how does this satisfy that trait bound? And that is where we learned the concept of blanket implementations. And I found that really interesting because it's interesting how you can set up a blanket implementation. I should look into setting up my own blanket implementations. But yeah, it's interesting how you can um, set up an implementation of a trait on either a type or a closure. In our case, it was a closure. You can set up an implementation, and in that way, you hold on. The way that I'm saying it is going to be confusing. It's interesting how you can set up a trait to be blanket implemented on a certain type. The type can be a closure signature as well, closure type, whatever. I need to look into what that's called. I think it's closure type, because the closure type itself is not, it's not just the fn part, it's the fn or fn mute or fn once, whatever, and then we have the arguments that go into that that closure, and then we also have the return type if this closure is supposed to return something. Right, so this gives you a very specific signature. And it turns out it turns out string validator has been blanket implemented for that specific function signature, or for that specific closure type, which is fn, and takes in which is an fn that takes in a string slice and returns a result of type um, validation and custom user error. So if you have a closure that matches that exact signature, string validator is already blanket implemented on that, meaning you can then pass that closure into the with validator function. And that whole thing was really interesting to me because like exploring this concept of blanket implementations has it's really made me see things in a different way. It's made me, I don't know, aside from, appreciating Rust a lot more, it's made me look at things from a very different angle. Like it's kind of interesting how you can set up a library that you can set up a library in which you have a blanket implementation for a certain type or a certain closure or something, and then you can set up functions that have that trait bound. Um, and in this way you can pass a certain closure. I don't know. I just found that very interesting. I do wonder if I would be able to see the what do you call it? I wonder if I would be able to see the blanket implementation through uh through through NeoVim, basically, is what I'm saying. So like when I do something like let me point to a function. When I do something like this and I hover over it, you can see a whole, you can see the signature, you can see what specific type is being passed in and all of that, right? I'm wondering if I would be able to see a blanket implementation of string validator. I do have string validator imported, so I can do this and I can open this up, but I think I would be limited in terms of what is shown to me. Yeah, I think I would be limited in terms of what is being shown to me. In fact, I believe this information, I remember seeing this in, oh, I like that it's showing the links. Yeah, this information, I actually didn't realize that those were links. Yeah, I didn't realize these were links. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, I believe this information that we have here, this like all the way up to examples and maybe even examples. I think even examples is included. I believe this is, if I go into the definition of validator, yeah, I believe this is where the information is. This is it, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. We have the text here, and then we have the examples. Yeah, I need to look into this thing because this might be like a doc string kind of thing where you can enter entire information about a certain function or certain class or whatever, and when someone runs the help command on that class or that function, then the help screen that pops up, it's going to show all of this information that you have mentioned. Okay, all right. So close this. Going back to this. Um, Now I guess we can move on to clap. Yeah, I think we can now move on to clap and learn all about how to use clap. So there are two things here. There's derive and there's builder. These are two things that are used for different purposes. From what I remember, builder is more of an advanced thing, According to CLAP, a good chunk of your use cases should be covered by Derive, but in case you need something custom, you can use Builder. I don't remember exactly. I'm gonna have to confirm that by opening the tutorial thing. So we're gonna look at that. There's also something called Cookbook. So we're gonna look at that as well. Okay, see the sidebar for table of contents. Okay, there's a quick start thing, adding arguments, validators. What does this say? Configuring the parser. Give me a second here. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. All right. So, quick start. So I believe I do have the derive feature. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Okay. All right. Let's add that. By the way, I've been looking into I just remembered by looking at this the dict thing. I've been looking into ways to get dictionary functionality. Dictionary, not in the sense of spell check, because nowadays that's also called dictionary. Not in the sense of spell check, rather looking up definitions of certain words. So if I ever come across a word that I don't know the definition of, or if it's a word that I believe I know the definition of, but I just want confirmation that, hey, yeah, this is exactly what it is, or if I want to, know how it is used in a sentence and stuff like that. I have some situations like that where I need to know I need to know either what the definition is of a word, or how to use that word in a sentence, and stuff like that. Um, yeah. So there are two places that I'm looking for this functionality, or looking to try and get this functionality. Both of them seem appealing. I just need to see which one sits right with me. One is within NeoVim, using one of the multiple plugins available, and the other is looking for a CLI slash TUI tool. Initially, I was looking for a Rust-based one because, of course, I'm going to look for a Rust-based one. And I did find one, which is actually actively in development. And it does seem to have it does seem to have a bunch of functionality. It lets you import dictionaries from various sources, dictionary databases, I guess they're called, from various sources. Um, it also provides translation functionality, which I'm not specifically looking for, but it's great that it's there. So, like, you can do translation as well, all within the terminal if you need to. But I'm specifically looking for dictionary support. Um, There also, and this is where the Dict thing came in. Apparently, there's this tool called Dict. I need to install it. It's not installed by default. It's not just a tool. I'm still reading the thing with Gemini or through Gemini. Apparently, this is a standard that was created, and it follows. I forgot what the protocol is called. It's a dictionary server protocol, I think. Hold on. Yeah, dictionary server protocol. That's what the protocol is called. And Gemini says it was created to do one job perfectly, allow a lightweight terminal client to query massive natural language databases using a simple TCP transaction over port 2628. Then Gemini is explaining how the architecture works. It said the system splits into two entirely separate parts, the client, which is dict, and the server daemon, which is dict-d. And then Gemini gave this sort of image thing, which I don't know if I can copy the thing entirely. I'm not sure. Hold on. Oh, wait, I was supposed to do something. I just remembered that. Holy shit. But yeah, wait. Let me paste this. So this is the sort of diagram that Gemini drew for me, explaining that you have the terminal, or you have the client, and then you have the server. The server gets its data from these various sources, and there's that server is running. Your client can send a request to it and get uh you know get the information. Now, there is a client, a CLI client available for this. There's probably multiple, and I believe Dict is also like a client in a way, because you have Dict D, which is the server. You have Dict, which is the client. I'm perfectly fine with using this, especially since it's probably a very mature tool. It's been around for a while. Additionally, there has been somebody has worked on a NeoVim plugin that uses Dict in the background. So I'm guessing that's the plugin there is the client, and it's going to be talking to this server, which is actually great if you think about it, because that means I could install Dict along with Dict-D, and then that server would be running. I should also look into if the server is just going to keep running, or does it only fire up when I invoke the client. But yeah, this is one of the things I've been looking into. Um, so I'm gonna step away from this thing, and we're gonna continue with our clap thing. Let's close this because I'm gonna need to reopen it. Um, Cargo, add clap features, derive. Okay, derive has been added. Let's do a cargo build. All right, that's done. Now let's open this back up and we should be good to go. Right, here's a preview of the type of application you can make. Um, should we do like a binary kind of thing? Like, okay, let's create bin, and within bin, I can say, um, I forgot how you go about doing that. Hold on, let me open up Yahtzee here. Within source, what did I just do? Here, within source, I'm going to create bin. Within bin, I'm going to create, um, oh, don't do that. There. Clap, I don't know, clap bin. Okay, now, actually, I have Yahtzee open here. Um, what was it? Learning CLI? Yeah, there. So now I can close Yahtzee here, and in here I can open up this. Let's create a main function. Oh, it's not giving like a, oh, there it is. Okay. Are we good? Yes, we are good. Um, let's add a print line statement saying, hello, bin world. Bin world. All right, save that. And let's do cargo run bin clap bin. Okay, that's how it works. Awesome. Uh, so we begin using this is something about path buff. I don't think I need that. I mean, that's probably going to be for the specific example that we're being given here. I don't think that has to do too much with clap itself. Uh, just a second. Dot parse. How is dot parse being? Oh, because I've implemented because I've created this macro here, or I've added that macro there. So the code, I'm assuming the code is being generated because of that. Um, you can check the value provided by positional arguments or option arguments. Give me a second here. Oh, I haven't been looking at the frame rate. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. We haven't dropped too many frames. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was reading this. Okay, I guess let's begin then. I don't think I need the what is the path buff thing being used for exactly? It says config path display. Oh, it's for this. Right, so it's this specific example. You know what? Let's go along with the example. Use std path buff. Okay, use clap parser subcommand. Wait, that's a macro. That's a trait. I think that's what I'm looking for. Where they're both named subcommand. Uh, I'm gonna assume this is the one I need. Oh no, this is the one I need. I need the macro subcommand. All right. Also, let me check if parser has a similar thing going on. Yep, I did not need the trait. I needed the macro. Sorry, zoned out. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's do oh, I think I should create the struct first. So we create struct CLI, and then up here we're gonna do derive parser, and then I like that the command snippet thing, or just the snippets thing, also apparently applied in that situation. So by default it had debug there, but then when I typed something else, it immediately replaced it with that. um oh, here we don't have, hold on, version about long about equals none. Am I doing this right? Okay. All right, so first we have name, which is going to be an option string. So it's optional, meaning it could be none as well. Then we have here arg short long value underscore name. Did I spell value right? Yeah, value underscore name equals file. Config path buff. Then we want debug, which is an unsigned byte. Oh, this also has, oh, hold on. Wait a minute. So we have a subcommand, and then we have these arguments. All right. Okay. Okay. Arg, short, long, action equals clap, arg action count. Yeah, I'm hoping the docs are gonna explain all of this later on. Okay, command, subcommand. Okay, I'm a little confused here by the lack of Oh, hold on. Commands. Is that a thing? No, that's not. Oh, commands is supposed to be defined below. Okay, that's why it's not showing up. Right, so beneath, I have to define the subcommand, and the subcommand is a enum. All right. So derive. Wait, what did I just do? Okay. Derive subcommand enum commands test. Okay, so test is the subcommand here then. Arg short. So we are creating this entire like struct here. Um, okay. I was gonna take a guess as to like what's where the arguments on which level the arguments are and on which level the subcommands are. But like I feel like I'm confusing myself. I'm okay. Test, I believe here is a subcommand, and takes a boolean, and then down in here under main, under main, we'll create the CLI, parse. Okay. If let some name. Oh, this is I actually revisited this concept yesterday. This is basically a way of getting just one pattern out of a certain like option or result or whatever else. You just want to get one pattern. This, I believe, this can also be used for other situations, like um maybe for an enum. Essentially, you use this for pattern matching, but like with pattern matching, when you have the match, when you have the match um, keyword, you have to specify arms for all the possibilities. So if let's say if it's an enum and the enum has like 4 variants, you would have to specify the behavior for all 4 variants. You can't leave anything. You can't leave any single variant's behavior undefined. So you'll have to define the entire thing, and that can be, very verbose, especially um, if you have like a bigger enum. But even just in general, each time, like let's say you have 2 variants, and you one of them, I guess at the end you can add a discard pattern. Well, actually, okay, I believe the discard pattern does help you have sort of a wild card kind of thing, which is like um, it's blanket behavior for everything else that doesn't match, any of the previous patterns. So if there's like 5 or 6 different variants in the enum that you're expecting, and you are looking for one specifically, one variant, and you want to define the behavior for that. But for all the other variants, the behavior is going to be mostly the same, or you just want to ignore the thing in that case, then you can use that discard thing. But you still have to, you know, you still have to add at the very least that extra thing. In this case, you can use if let some name, just as well, I was about to say just as an example, but we are going along with this tutorial. So what this is going to do is it's going to read the sum value. Um, you have sum and none, right? This is an option. So if the value is none, I believe it's just not going to do anything. And If it's sum, then it'll store the value into name, and within this body of code, you can define your logic um, to use the name. Okay, print line, value for name is name. I have never done this, or if I've done this, I've forgotten about it. Yeah, I can't remember if I knew that you could do this, because usually what I do is this, but then it becomes like a positional kind of thing. So if you have multiple curly brackets, then you have to be mindful of, the positioning of the next few arguments, because that's going to determine where each of the arguments value gets placed within the string. I don't remember if I knew that you can, uh, hold on, there. Yeah, and it seems like IntelliSense also works. So if I do this, it does show the suggestion. So that's great. Yeah, yeah. I was actually reading up on this yesterday. I opened up like the Rust documentation to see. Hold on. No, this is for clap. That's not what I'm looking for. Uh, Rust iflet. It lets, no, iflet. Iflet allows us to match non-parameterized enum variants. This is true even in cases where the enum doesn't implement or derive partial ek as in equals. Yeah, okay. For some for some use cases, when matching enums, match is awkward. For example, so and so, so and so. Yeah, Rust is giving, or the docs are giving that same example that I was talking about. Iflet is cleaner for this use case, and in addition, allows various failure options to be specified. Iflet construct the iflet construct reads, iflet destructures some one. Yeah, I believe if it's none, then it's just not going to do anything, because I just realize that, yeah, it's using some already. So the pattern is already mentioned here. The pattern is already given. And if it's none, then I guess it's just not gonna execute. Okay, all right. So, carrying on, if let some config underscore path equals CLI dot config path as dref. I need to look into this as deref thing. I've rarely ever used this. The last time that I used this, I'm pretty sure I've never used this on my own though. Like let me that's what I'm trying to say. I've never used this on my own. Every time that I've used this, it was because the docs was the docs were mentioning, oh yeah, you can use so and so thing. The last time I used this, I believe, was when I was learning about smart pointers, and I don't think I came back to this after that. What does this do? It converts from option T to option T target. It leaves the original option in place, creating a new one with a reference to the original one. Addition. Oh, so you can reuse the option then. Wait, that's interesting. Hold on. Additionally, coercing the contents via deref. I need to explore this more later on. That being said, I guess I would be able to use. Oh, wait, I just realized something else. The reason we have to use this is because it's a struct. You can't move things out of a struct. I also want to explore moving things out of a struct again, because I mean the straightforward answer for why you're not allowed to do that is because it would leave a hole in the struct, and then you have like memory issues. So it's not really something that you want to do. But I want to understand that on a deeper level. So I'm gonna present a prompt to Gemini. Okay, hey, I'm learning Rust. Explain as deref. Is that what it says? Yeah, as deref. As deref to me. Also, explain to me that whole thing about. Hold on. Explain to me that whole thing about. I keep misspelling it. Whole thing about being able to not not being able to move a value out of a struct. I understand that uh, it's not allowed because it would leave a quote unquote hole in the struct, but I'm trying to understand how that whole thing works. I don't even know what I'm trying to get Gemini to explain to me when I say I'm trying to understand how that whole thing works. But I guess when Gemini gives me its own interpretation of that, or its own explanation, whatever I don't really know that I don't understand, um, I'm gonna understand that, if that makes sense. But I'm trying to understand how that whole thing works. Okay, all right. Down here, we need a print statement. Actually, okay, can I do this? No, I can't do that. Never mind. Print line value for config so and so. Okay, config path as display. Display returns an object that implements display for safely printing paths. For safely printing paths that may contain non-Unicode data. This may perform lossy conversion depending on the platform. If you would like an implementation which escapes the path, please use debug instead. Okay, all right. Uh, I didn't even know this was an option. That's another thing I should look into. because usually when like if I don't use this, I'm gonna get an error, and a lot of times when I do get an error on this, I'll just add like a, I forgot what this thing is called, but this then makes it so the debug version of that is being printed instead of the display version. And that often solves the issue. I guess I'll just go with that. Yeah. Though with display, it's more, actually the thing is, um display, you often have to implement it yourself. The whole idea with display is that you are implementing that so that Rust knows how to actually print the thing that you're trying to print. Um, I don't think you have to do that with debug. I don't think so. I don't remember actually. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I guess that's another thing I should explore. I haven't looked into that nearly enough. Okay, then we have the match. So we want to match the value of cli.debug, which I believe is a unsigned integer. Okay, so if it's 0, then we want to do print line, debug mode is off. Okay, there's a bunch to type here. Debug mode is off. Okay, let's increment that, and this one is supposed to be a wildcard kind of thing. Okay, here debug mode is kind of on. Here debug mode is on, and for some reason, don't be crazy. Don't be crazy. All right, that is done. Okay, what else is there? Okay, we need a reference to, so we're going to do a match on uh, a reference to the command enum, and here we want to do commands test list, and uh wait, that's interesting. What does asterisk list do in this case? List is supposed to be, hold on. Let's type this out. Commands, test. I like that it's already mentioned there. And yeah, I'm adding list in there. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Test list. There's something, there's a problem here. Okay, list. Right, print line, printing, testing lists. Else, print line, not printing testing lists. None, so and so. Okay. I need to understand how this whole thing is working. Specifically, oh, voice crack. Specifically, I need to understand how this is working. Because I kind of get it, the way that this has been set up. we are trying to access the list, and that's why we gave it a name. Yeah, yeah, I need to better understand this because this is like a nested thing. Usually in like within some we would not definitely. I forgot what word I was going to use. Usually within some we would just give the name right here. But then in this case, what we are trying to access is it's kind of nested within a couple of things. So like we have the commands enum, um, within that we have the test variant. The test variant is a struct which has a field list, and that's what we are looking at. Oh, it's a bool. So we are dereferencing this. That's what's going on here. For the sake of testing, um, let's create. Let's go to source bin. Um, I don't know, some o1.rs, just so we have some scratch code. Uh, do we have code action here? Where did this get created? Oh, is it not saved? Okay, now we'll have code actions, maybe. I don't know. Let's do this. And it's main. There's nothing in the args. Why is it like this now? The first time that I did it, I didn't have this issue. It was a nice simple main function. All right. Let a equals 5. Let b equals reference to this. And since we have a reference, we want to follow it back. Hold on. Print line. Let's do that. And actually in here itself, I can do this. That doesn't work. That doesn't work either, which is interesting. Main function not found in crate so and so. Consider adding a main function. Uh, Hold on. C equals string from ABC. Yeah, for some reason this is not working, and I can't tell why. What is the main function supposed to look like? Just like that, right? Fn main so and so, and then okay. I guess close this and reopen it. Okay, so it was just a language server issue, or maybe a LSP client issue actually, not a language server issue. So now if I do this, am I allowed to? I'm still not allowed to. Okay. I can do it here. And let's run sum o1. That gives us 5. So that's um how we dereference a reference, if that makes sense. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So, um, what was I doing? I was here. Oh, okay. We are done. So now we can try to run this. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, run help. Uh, to pass help to a to pass help to the specified binary, use so and so. Okay, all right. Okay. So this is I love that Cargo understood that I might have been trying to do so and so thing. Um, and it gave me the solution for that. But yeah, these are so all of this is like automatically generated for us. All we had to do was create, this we had to create the arguments here and give some information, and then it gets mentioned here. There's actually much more that you can mention as well. You're not limited to just this. I know this because Rusty Rain uses this. Look at this. All of this has been manually defined. I've seen the code for this. All of this has been manually defined. Okay, I don't want to say all, but like a good chunk of it, because I don't know if any of it was like maybe automated in some way, shape, or form that I don't know, like maybe procedurally done. I can't say for sure. I don't want to say for sure, but a good chunk of it has been manually defined in a file. And well, the reason I had to explore it was because this BG color, this is a feature that I contributed to this application, and I also added this information. I don't remember if it was exactly this information or because I all I had done was I copied everything from color. I didn't know anything about clap at all, so I was kind of going into it blind, and I didn't want to have to learn everything about clap. So what I did is I just copied the code for color because it would be pretty much the same, except we would be applying it to the background, and at least in this situation it would be more or less the same because foreground color, background color, in both cases you're giving a color, so it can be either a word of a color or it can be RGB values. Okay. um then what if we do, so we have test, right? Okay, okay, wrong thing. Wait, value name for test. Hold on, that's a positional argument. So let's say some name O1. Yeah, value for name, some O1. Debug mode is off. Is debug a positional thing or hold on. Let me see the help for this. Okay, name arguments, options, config, debug, and so and so. All right, let's try something here. Okay, name is our positional argument. Options, which is optional arguments. Actually, I wonder what shows up in version. Okay, it's still that version because I haven't changed it. Okay, config file. I can pass in. I don't know where it's reading this from. So what I'm gonna do is I shouldn't do that. Um, what I'm gonna do is if I say dot, I don't know where exactly it's going to be reading it from. Let's just let's do this. Sum o1.txt. Okay. C uh, dot slash sum o1 dot txt. A value is required for so and so, but none was specified. I did specify it, right? Oh, I specified it twice. Okay, okay. So that works. Next we can specify. Let's do 5. So it says don't be crazy. That did not work. Expected argument. What is it expecting exactly? Hold on. Yeah, debug is supposed to be an unsigned integer. It's supposed to be an unsigned byte. But then what value is it? Should I use equals? No, that doesn't work. Unexpected argument. Let's say 2. That doesn't work either. Oh, what about now? Nope, that doesn't work either. Debug mode off. Says DD. All right. Um, oh, is it the number of Ds? Oh, it's the number of Ds. So is that what count was for? Was debug? Yeah, count. Okay, I had no idea that you could do this. Yeah, that's interesting, dude. And that's why we have what we have here is the number of Ds that you've provided. So if it's 0, then debug mode is off. If it's 1, then it's kind of on. Otherwise, it's on. And otherwise, it's going to tell you to not be crazy. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. This is interesting. This is fun. I'm gonna explore this more. Um, I don't know off stream or on stream. I think I should explore this more off stream so I can make progress with my knowledge base project and then get back to holy shit, what all was I working on that I've now pushed to the side because of this? I just kind of got carried away with it. Uh Git. We have to get back to Git branching. I need to finish that, dude. It's dragging on for way too long. Toml is done, so that's good. Don't do that. Toml is done, so that's good. I'm s- this is I'm still working on. I mean, I've created the repo. I've created the project as well. I just have to work on the actual tool in the project. And then once I've done that, I'm gonna work on something for the dot files thing as well. That's going to be a separate kind of project. That's mainly the tool that I'm going to be creating there is mainly for fetching config files or entire config directories from specific locations. I'm going to specify it within a toml file that it can be uh, basically I'll create functionality for um, specifying what is supposed to be what am I trying to say? The stuff is going to be read from the toml file. I'm going to create functionality to be able to read from that toml file. And of course, I'm going to create the structure for what kind of data is supposed to go in there. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, that being said, I do need to end the stream. Um, Unfortunately, today also I started late, but the good news is I got to stream for at least an hour, so I'm happy with that. I'll try to stream earlier tomorrow. But dude, I'm super happy that so far this year we've been streaming a lot more than last year. Easily a lot more. Easily. Holy shit, dude. I'm so happy about that. But yeah, dude, that's gonna be it for today's stream. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.